Hello everyone, I'm Panyue Gao. Today I will discuss the case of Disneyland Resort Paris. I will answer the following questions in this speech. Disney has built theme parks all over the world, and Disneyland Resort Paris is regarded as the most challenging project. It was built on the basis of great success of Tokyo Disneyland. Tokyo Disneyland. At that time, Disney's decision makers were full of confidence in the future of Disneyland Resort Paris. But in fact, the plan to build Disneyland in Paris was strongly protested by French citizens, editors, and even Disney employees from the very beginning. After its completion, it has experienced a wave of boycotts, employee strikes, financial crises, and natural disasters. All optimistic expectations have become illusions. Disney has suffered an unprecedented failure in Europe. In 2003, Andrew Luxor becomes the new CEO. With his efforts, the decline of Disneyland Resort Paris has eased, but the losses still continue. Disneyland has always been themed with fairy tales and characters. Therefore, its main target is children and their parents. I think it's a wrong decision to build Disneyland in Paris. Firstly, the success of Tokyo Disneyland led to blind optimism. Since the opening ceremony, Tokyo Disneyland has been operating well. Disney wants to replicate this successful story, but Disney ignores that Europe is different from Japan. In other words, Disney underestimated the importance of cultural conflict. As we all know, Disney is one of the representatives of American country. The younger generation in Japan has greater interest and identity in American culture. Therefore, Tokyo Disneyland has attracted a large number of tourists and is in good condition. France is not. The French have a strong sense of national pride and low acceptance of foreign culture. They regard Disney's arrival as cultural imperialism and worry that it will impact or even replace the local culture. So the local people have a great resistance to Disney. This led to the boycott of Disneyland from its establishment to its opening. Thirdly, Disney has chosen a wrong time. The opening time of Disneyland Resort Paris coincides with economic recession in Europe, which limited the number of tourists and affected the consumption behavior of Europeans. Conservative Europeans have become more selective as Disneyland monopolizes the Europe market. Its tickets and hotel prices are very expensive. Disney may think this is acceptable. After all, there is no second Disneyland in Europe. But in fact, Europe tourists would rather go to Florida on holiday than pay for Disney's expensive goods and service. Fourthly, the recipe and business hours of Disneyland restaurant do not conform to the French living habits. Disney does not offer alcohol or alcoholic beverages, but the French see red wine as a necessity at lunch and dinner. What's more, the French want to have a good breakfast at Disneyland, but they only find fast food. Therefore, the catering income of Disneyland in Paris is much lower than that of Disneyland in other regions. Finally, Disney's busy long hours, low-paid work go against the French lifestyle. Most of employees in Disneyland Resort Paris are French. They are used to leisurely and free life, and will not endure unconditional overtime like Japanese employees. In addition, Disney requires employees to dress neatly and regularly, and even has regulations on their nails and hair. These demands lead to protests by the French press and the media. In order to adapt to the local cultural environment, Disney has made a lot of changes in the design of the resort. 1. Emphasize the imaging of Wild West of the United States. 2. Neon communication criticism. 3. Give Disney characters European traditional style. 4. Introduce more kinds of food in restaurant. Because Europe tourists hate long queues, Disney provides extra entertainment while they are waiting for a ride. But Disney also retains its own characteristics. 1. The core values such as to create emerging product and experience for customers have not changed. 2. Disney requires its employees to be polite, clean, and efficient in any area. 3. The original design part remains unchanged. The main reason for the failure of Disney Resort Paris is that the management only consider the advantages of Paris in geography, transportation, and financial subsidies, but ignored the huge cultural difference between Europe and the United States. If Disney shareholders and the French government were given another chance, they might choose another location. After all, although Disneyland Resort Paris also has some gains, the overall loss is greater than the gains. In conclusion, for multinational companies, Disneyland Resort Paris is a lesson. Disney enjoys a higher reputation all over the world, but that doesn't mean the brand will be popular everywhere. Disney's wishful thinking is that the French will welcome them as well as the Japanese. They didn't realize that the French would resist a foreign country in the process of running Disneyland. The managers did not think from the perspective of local people and still maintained the American way of thinking. The arrogant attitude makes the scientific French more and more disgusted with Disney. Disneyland is in trouble in Paris. Therefore, from the decision-making of merger investment to the formulation of specific business strategies, managers of multinational companies must do in Rome as Roma does to win the support of local customers. My presentation is over. Thank you very much.